All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to the behind the scenes of my Spiritual Biz Masterclass. This is a masterclass that's been on my heart to teach for quite some time. I have just been waiting to channel it in an organized way because I operate my business on a daily basis and it feels really natural and easy to me. But one thing I'm seeing in the spiritual community is a scattered energy that is causing a lot of women to feel disconnected from income, from money, from their offers, from their creative flow. So the whole purpose is to give you guys a behind the scenes of my business. I'm going to be super raw and vulnerable. My heart is pounding right now because I'm about to let y'all into my finances and just things that I never thought I'd be sharing with anybody, because I feel that it is of high value and of high service for you to see the real deal, in hopes that you're not only inspired, because that's something you can look on Instagram to get inspired, but I want you to feel activated, and I want you to walk away today with some real clarity on some actionable steps you can take to enhance your spiritual business. But first, most of us are yoga teachers here. Most of us are spiritual mentors. Let's take a few deep breaths together just so that we're all grounded and in the same energy. So whether you're sitting up or lying down, doesn't matter to me. Just go ahead and close your eyes. And we're just going to take 3 simple deep breaths together so that we're present and we are here to fully receive whatever it is we need to move forward. So once you close your eyes, I invite you to allow the muscles that are holding your eyes to relax. And as you inhale, you can squeeze the shoulders up into your ears and allow the breath to flow into the heart, the throat, the crown. And then if it feels right, let out a big sigh on the exhale, grounding your sit bones further into the earth. And then take another deep breath in through the nose, filling from the bottom of your belly to the top of your heart. Full exhale out through the mouth to release and cleanse. And then a final inhale, breathe in a little bit of extra air here, filling your lungs up to capacity to awaken all the cells of your body. Wake yourself up here with the breath. And then as you exhale, relax the chest, the heart, the ribs, the belly, the hips. Set the intention that you are here to receive, and that through this act of receiving, you get to trust that the information delivered will activate the part of you that it is meant to. Thank yourself for carving out the time, because that is a clear sign that you care about your business, you care about your mission, and you care about the world. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, come back to the space. Beautiful. So I'm going to go into my story a little bit. I haven't really I've shared parts of this online, and you guys have probably followed me on Instagram. That's how most of you have found this masterclass. But I want to go through the very beginning, because a lot of people see on Instagram like what's happening right now, and you don't see how that person got there or where they actually started. So the beginning of my journey actually didn't start with yoga or energy work or anything. I was a project manager at a real estate firm. And before that, I was job hopping to just find something that was fulfilling. I graduated college with a very random degree just to finish something, and moved to Chicago immediately to start climbing the corporate ladder, because that's what I was told I was supposed to do. I had my certification in yoga, so I was teaching around 12 to 16 classes a week just to keep the fire in my belly alive, because real estate was so draining and I loved teaching at the time. But ultimately, I was making under $40,000 a year. I was hiding in a spiritual closet, and I was completely burned out. I was having panic attacks on the bus of the CTA every single day. I couldn't feel my body. I didn't know who I was. And I was moving at such a high speed that I couldn't even see where I was going, what I was doing next. There was no intention to what I was doing. And this unfulfilled corporate career was really the start of my spiritual journey. I had a huge panic attack in my office one day, I'll never forget. And I just sat on the floor and I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep living like this. I was only in my early 20s and I was having these intense bouts of panic, like I was going to die. And it was because I was so disassociated with my body and I wasn't earning money that was going to support my life. I was just running on nothing. Not to mention my spiritual practice was practically non-existent. And when I did have a spiritual practice, it was inconsistent. And I would do it behind the scenes because there wasn't much room for me to express that part of myself in a corporate office. I was managing 10 men over the age of 40. So I was hyper in my masculine, get shit done, hustle. And I wore that like a badge of honor until that badge almost killed me. And so I went to the extreme. You'll learn that I am a woman of extremists. I let everything fall apart. So there was a rock bottom before the success. The beginning was this numbed out, unfulfilled corporate ladder. And then came rock bottom. I decided to quit my corporate job. And in this transition of quitting my corporate job to now, I was managing corporate yoga studios in the city of Chicago. However, I brought that same hustle mentality to the management position. So I was still operating at that hyper masculine, still running on empty while managing yoga studios, while teaching 16 classes a week, still in the spiritual closet because it was a corporate studio that didn't allow sage or any of the stuff that you guys see in San Diego today. It was super, super dry. And it was deeply underpaid. I was so deeply out of alignment. So I quit all of that to start my business and go full time. I see that a lot of people think that you start your business when everything is put together. I decided to start my business when shit fucking hit the fan. I went from this corporate job to everything changing. I ended up getting unengaged the same month that I decided to go full time in my business. No, that was not planned. And that unengagement completely awakened me to what I truly wanted to do in this world. So in the process of my love life falling apart, my corporate career completely going away, I had basically an ego death and a rebirth all in the same breath. So I did what any person who's at rock bottom does, and I sold all my shit and moved to California. I bought a one-way ticket to California because I knew deep in my soul that Chicago wasn't where I needed to be, that I wasn't going to thrive or fully be able to step into the leadership of a light worker in the city that it felt like at the time, chewed me up and spit me out. So I bought a one-way ticket to California with the intention to visit and heal from my heartache, to heal my life, my identity, everything that had been stripped away. If you're familiar with Saturn's return, this was my Saturn's return. And right when I landed in California, I was met with a lot of resistance because it's a completely different lifestyle than Chicago. And as much as I was ready for the free flow acai bowl lifestyle, my body, my nervous system was still operating at this intense masculine, go, 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 you need to do this. Like, what are you doing? Why are we stopping? And in that, I learned how to surrender. And I decided to still go full time in my business, even though every fear that could possibly come up was there. I was actually $20,000 in debt, and I only had $400 to my name when I started my business, you guys. So a lot of women come to me and say that they need to get ready first before they can do it. And they think that getting ready means clearing out all their debt, saving up money, and then they get to start a business because then they would be worthy. And I proved to myself and a lot of my clients that work with me now that that's not the case, because I didn't start my business with those perfect circumstances. I started with a deep devotion and surrender that I wasn't starting this business. Me and God and the universe and spirit were starting this business. And as far as I'm concerned, me and spirit can do anything together. And that was really what pulled me forward. And it wasn't easy. We can go into the nitty-gritty details, but I'm here now. And today, Tori Washington Inc. has generated $64,146 so far in 2019, which is double my fucking corporate salary. It's triple my yoga teacher salary. I'm working less than 30 hours a week when I was working over 80 hours a week. I'm living out my soul's purpose, and I've been in business for 2 years. And I could cry right now sharing this because it's real, and this isn't just a business. It's my life. It's your life. And I'm not here to brag and show off. I'm here to express and reflect back to you what you are also capable of, because there is no difference between you and me. No difference at all. And there's a chance that you feel resonant with this story. A lot of women come to me and say, me too. I also have debt. I also had no money in the bank. I also got my heart broken. And I also have a soul purpose that I want to express out into the world. So this is how I got to this point today in 2019. I'm going to show you guys a deeper sneak peek in the masterclass, but this is just an overview of my quarter 1 and quarter 2. I think what's really cool to see are the different revenue streams and possibilities for how a 5-figure month is created. So in 2018, when I first started my business, I was stuck between $2,000 and $5,000. And tell me if that resonates with you. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get above like $3,000. It was this weird resistance that I had. And finally learning how to break through. This year, my highest income month so far has been $16,292. Even pulling that number out, I was just like, holy fuck. And my average monthly income has now energetically stayed at $10,691. And that was my goal. I have pages in my journal filled with me manifesting $10,000 months, because that was the number that I felt so connected to. And that was the number that I know I wanted to earn to live the life that I do today. But I did not start off there. I started off only making $2,000 to $5,000. On a good month, it was $5,000, and sometimes it was less than $2,000. But that was my my glass ceiling, was that $2,000 to $5,000. So I'm going to get into more detail on the very like microcosms of what that looks like. But first, I want to invite you guys to share your truth and be a little vulnerable with me today and share where you're at in your business. So I'd love for you guys to open up the chat. Introduce yourself first, to say your name and where you are in the world. And I'd love to know if you're a current or aspiring entrepreneur. So are you currently in business, or do you have this business idea in your heart that you know you want to bring out and you just haven't done it yet? And if you do have a business, what is it in one sentence? I have no idea what this red mark is. Can you guys see that? Like this random drawing. But what is your business in one sentence? And then I would love to know your income, your monthly income currently. And this is vulnerable because as we're taught to not talk about our money. We're taught to keep it secret. But I'm inviting you to just speak your truth, because it's the first step in starting to change it. And then I'd also love to know, what's your monthly income goal? And you can say, in the next 3 months, but also what is it by the end of 2019? Like, what do you want to enter 2020 making? We have 6 months left. So I'm going to give you guys a quick second to share that in the chat. And that will help me to see where everybody is at. Caitlin is currently an entrepreneur. She provides holistic health coaching and astrology readings. Yes, I've heard Caitlin speak about astrology. It's super inspiring. My monthly income is between $800 to $1,200. Monthly income goal is, yes, $10,000. Fuck yeah. Yeah, so go ahead and share in the chat. And let's see where everybody is at. Good. Lots of us current entrepreneurs. Beautiful. Stephanie is an online fitness program. Denise, current entrepreneur, space holder for women to heal and reclaim their power. Zoe, you made it on. Good. Andy's in Colorado, 2 years into my interior design business. My passion is environmental design, but I have yet to implement those practices. Monthly income 3 to 4. Goal is 5 to 7. Yes. Beautiful. Current entrepreneur. Goal 10,000. Yes, you guys are beautiful. You're in the right place. Crystal from Maryland. She's a Reiki practitioner. So in love with this, and I know energy healing is my future. I am new to the idea of doing this as a business for real. Okay, good, Crystal. We're going to definitely talk about that. Hi, Pina. I've heard so much about you. My business is in healing arts and energy work. Beautiful, 10K. Hey, Kelly. Goal is 12K. Hell yeah. 5-figure month. Beautiful. These are all doable. I would love for you guys just to browse through and see where everybody is at, because the collective energy is so in sync. Everybody's saying between $6,000, $10,000. All of you are healers. You're all spiritual entrepreneurs. This is so beautiful. Annalise, tarot reading, spiritual healing, manifestation, looking to take Reiki courses soon, $7,000 goal. Hell yeah. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so I'm gonna come back again. Use the chat to ask any questions, but let's get into the juicy stuff. Mistakes that I've made. Here's how I stayed stuck at $2,000. Which, let's honor the $2,000. $2,000 is beautiful, but we're actually designed as humans to desire more. And one thing that I had to overcome was the guilt of wanting more. Why should I want more? Who am I to earn that much? Why can't I just be satisfied with this? And when I finally allowed my desires to breathe and communicate with me, the number was so big that it actually scared me. So most of the mistakes that I made were sabotage because I wasn't an energetic match for the goal yet. So that was a lot of the learning that I went through to create the structure that I have now. But these are the 6 mistakes. I made many mistakes, but when I was just outlining what was most prominent in the last 2 years, it's these 6 things. So I want you guys to take a lot of notes, bring your questions, and let's dive in. So the biggest mistake I made is I had too many offers. And a lot of women I hear are scattered. They're having this scattered energy. And it's because there's too much stuff going on. There's too many offers. There's too many things happening at once. And instead of creating from my intuition, I was actually people pleasing. So I wasn't listening to what I wanted to create. I was trying to please everybody. If Nancy wanted to work with me, I created a program for her. If Charlie wanted to work with me, I created a program for him. I had so many offers going around at once that I couldn't connect with any one of them. And my audience didn't know what I did. I would literally meet people who are like, what do you do exactly? Because one minute I was talking about this, and the next minute I was talking about something completely different, because that's what I thought was going to sell, or that's what I thought was going to make the most amount of money, or that's what I thought people wanted. It wasn't coming from my truth or my source. So the first thing I invite everybody to do is just look at everything that you're offering right now and just notice what offers are truly coming from your creative source, and what offers are you trying to regurgitate or push out there because it seems like it's going to sell better, or that's what's like the trending thing, or that's what people are going to most likely buy. Because a lot of my mindset was revolved around more offers equals more money, right? Because I was connecting each offer to a revenue stream, and that's not actually true. Once you scale your business, you actually generate more revenue, and you can repurpose your offers to be more profitable. So that's one thing that I teach my clients, is how to scale And at first they're resistant because it's like, I don't want to give up the intuitive readings, or I don't want to give up the 17 healing things I'm doing right now. But when they do, and you're not giving it up, you're just shifting. When they do, they experience so much more freedom and connection that it's easier for them to manage their business, manage their day, and make more money. I mean, you guys you deserve to start and end every single one of your months with the knowing that you have all the abundance and prosperity that you need. And if you're scattered and stressed all over the place, that can't happen. You're not an energetic match for that reality. The next mistake that I made was that I worked nonstop. I was always working. From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, I was thinking about my business, worrying about my business, trying to make my business work. Some days it felt like it was working and I was flying high. Other days I was like, what the hell am I doing? I should just get a real job. But I was always on. It was nonstop. I was in a codependent relationship with my business, and I was obsessed with it. I recommend not being obsessed with your business and being more obsessed with something else, because that emotional charge was actually hurting me. It was hurting my business. I wasn't able to show up because I was consistently burned out. And it's actually a more freeing and liberating experience when you're less emotionally attached to your business. Then start to look at your business as this sovereign soul that has its own needs and its own desires. And every launch that you do, every offer that you do also has its own consciousness and soul. And if you're obsessing and trying to control that soul, it will not grow. So we have to detach from our business a little bit so that we can see it from a new angle and start to operate within it with more power and truth. The obsessed workaholic paradigm has to end for us to keep growing into these higher income streams. Whenever you find yourself working nonstop, chances are you're operating from a place of lack and trying to make something that you see isn't there. And now that I work less than 30 hours a week, I actually make more money enjoying my life, not waking up and grabbing my phone and making sure I have so much more space because I'm not obsessing over this business. It's almost like when you're dating somebody and you start to get obsessed with them and you just like always want to be up in their business. They're like, please go away. That's what was happening with my business. That's what was happening with money. So working nonstop was a huge mistake. And that was from my old programming in corporate America, that time equals dollars. And I have now seen through my income streams that that's not true at all. Not being consistent, I wasn't consistently doing the inner work, and my business reflected that right back to me. There were days when the business was thriving, and there were days when it felt like total shit. And that was a reflection of my inner work. I wasn't consistently showing up for myself, my meditation practice, my body, my soul. I wasn't consistent with that. And my business was a direct reflection of it, because how you're doing business is how you are doing life. So this is huge for us spiritual entrepreneurs, is to remind ourselves that the inner work always comes first. And it doesn't stop after you've had one good month or you've had one good day. It starts and it keeps going when you start and keep staying committed to the inner work that is required to hold the energy of thousands of people. Raise your hand or type yes in the chat if you don't want to just help one person. You want to help hundreds, maybe thousands of people. So in order to hold a container with strength and grounded energy, you have to be consistent with your inner work. You have to be consistent. The fourth mistake I made is hiring coaches out of fear. I would hire a coach when I was at rock bottom, desperate, couldn't get rent together type of shit. And I used to I used to hire coaches that weren't in energetic alignment with me. And I was in such a foggy place that I was hiring coaches that I thought had something I didn't have, which is like strategy and masculine energy. So a lot of the coaches that I used to invest in never talked about spirituality. They never talked about doing the inner work. They only talked about sales funnels and making sure Instagram is this way and da 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 da. And all that is most definitely necessary. But I was making fear-based investments and I wasn't entering into a healthy coaching container. So whenever you make an investment in your business out of fear, that is going to lead to sabotage. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel aligned, and you end up being with the wrong people. So excitement, being excited to invest in coaches, excited to take the next step is what leads to true results, and you begin to attract people who are in more alignment with you. The other thing, and I didn't have room to put it on here, is that I waited way too long to hire an energetic match of a coach. I was hiring coaches that I thought were cool, or I thought, well, they're big and they're making a shit ton of money, so if I sign up with them, then I will too. And that wasn't the case because they weren't speaking my language. They weren't understanding my offers as a spiritual entrepreneur. We're in a really unique space, you guys. Like, we are offering something so unique. So hiring a coach that only speaks to marketing isn't really going to serve you fully. And waiting too long to hire a coach is going to lead you to get way too attached to Google, downloading a shit ton of freebies, trying to figure it out, spinning your wheels. So waiting to ask for help is just as detrimental as hiring a coach out of fear. So you really want to find that balance. And what I have found the most success in is hiring a coach when I feel really good about my business, when I don't need her, because then we're showing up as equals. I'm not this like desperate rock bottom, holy crap, I can't do this. That energy is frantic. So I always hire a coach now when I'm in my highest months, when I'm in my highest energy, my highest intention, because we're setting the stage for a beautiful union versus fear and sabotage. So holler if you in the chat, I'd love to hear if you've hired a coach and you're like, oh God, what did I do? This was not the right investment. That happened to me 4 times in a row. And I thought that I was in some karmic loop with coaches. It felt like I kept dating the same guy that kept fucking me over. And I was like, I have to stop this. And I did a whole ceremony actually to like release. I forgave myself for investing all that money and not showing up and them not showing up. I forgave and forgave so that I could start to invest clean money with clean excitement. The 7th mistake, no, 5th, is hiding in my business. I was hiding for so long in my business. This is not a part-time gig. This is your life. And what I am here to do is help you activate the leader and the CEO light worker within. This is not a, maybe on Monday I'll do it, and then by next Tuesday I'm like back to just being a yoga teacher or a Reiki healer. You are a leader in creating the new earth. There is a new paradigm forming, and we need women like you activated in your power, centered in your soul, and working towards your divine plan. That is your birthright, and we can't see you if you're hiding. I was hiding in my business. I was hiding behind, I need to make sure the graphic for this is perfect before I can launch it. Oh, I can't go live on Facebook because I don't have the right microphone or headphones. I was making up so many excuses and trying to be like everybody else that I was hiding from my own truth and my own voice and how I wanted to show up. And the moment I took that mask off and released all of me and allowed everyone to see all of me was the minute I claimed my role as a leader. And I was no longer just somebody on Instagram who was writing inspiring content and posting good pictures. It was, there's leadership here available for you. And that's a different frequency that you learn how to step into. And then the last one, which is super obvious, is I avoided the sale. I cringed. I hated discovery calls. I didn't like selling my stuff. I didn't want to come off too salesy. What if people judge me? Like, is it even safe to ask for money? This is weird. It should be free. I love this. Should I, like, I was just so messed up in the head around how to price my offers and sell them that I didn't make any money. So ironically enough, I started making more money in my business once I embodied the art of empowered sales. And to me now, and this is what I teach my clients, is selling is talking about your business. And if you aren't talking about your offers, no one knows that they exist, and no one can find you. No one knows what to do. Where's the exchange? The exchange happens when you ask for the sale. So part of what I learned is that I had to learn how to receive, because how do you ask for something if you're not open to receiving? I learned to be so open to receiving thousands of dollars in my business for the exchange of my energy and the exchange of whatever container I was going to hold for these women. And this was huge. This is the biggest thing that changed how I did business. Is I'm not afraid to talk about my offers. I'm not afraid to be too much. I'm not afraid to get out there a little bit more boldly than somebody who is like, yeah, I have this one thing, and you know, it's starting on this date, and it's kind of, yeah, and all that doubt is holding you back from truly being able to step in and ask for the sale, ask for the energetic exchange, ask for the currency. The one thing that helped me is, instead of being obsessed with my business, which is working nonstop, I fell back in love with my business. And I'm so in love with every offer that I have that I love talking about it. And I love sharing about it. And I love to call in the humans that are ready to do the thing. And it's okay if you do. And it's actually totally okay if you don't. That doesn't dictate whether I'm going to talk about it or not. And it used to. It really used to. I used to put out an offer, and if I heard crickets, I'd be like, okay, this is a failure. We're not doing it. It's too vulnerable. So avoiding the sale is going to cause you to really fluctuate in your income. The more that you embody empowered sales, the more money you're able to receive, and the more value that you're actually able to give. So these are the 6 mistakes. Tell me if this is resonating with you before we move ahead. We're going to get into some numbers here in a second. But I'd love to hear from you. Yeah. Hell yes, hell yes, hell yes. This resonates with me so deeply, the last one in particular. Yeah, as Zoe said, I often get freaked out by the crickets. Yep. Yeah, it really is something that used to trip me up. And after getting over that and learning that my worth is actually has nothing to do with their response and everything to do with me being in love with whatever I'm putting out there, I was able to share it more authentically and keep sharing it. There's a study that shows that people need to see something 7 times before they actually emotionally respond to it. So that's why, if you followed me for a while, how many times did you guys see this masterclass pop up? I didn't just announce it once. Every single day I talked about the masterclass. And yeah, there were probably people who were like, I don't care about the masterclass. And guess what? They didn't watch the story anymore. But there's 60 of you who did give a shit and are here. But if I would have been too afraid to continue talking about it, then none, you guys wouldn't be here with me right now. So the crickets are okay. And I also teach my clients when they're launching to put it out there, and then don't even pick up your phone. Don't look at your computer. Go do something else. Like, go do something completely different once you've put your offer out there. And you'll start to see over time that people wait till the last minute. I wait till the last minute to buy stuff. Everything that I buy, I'm a visual person. I like to look at it for a couple of days, and then I like to feel into it. And then I think about, is this a yes or is this a no for me? So this isn't something that happens instantly all the time. And it's our job to stay in this high frequency and hold the vibration the woman on the other side needs you to hold your vibration. She doesn't need you to give up. She doesn't need you to worry about the crickets. She needs you in your leadership. She needs you showing up every day and talking about what it is that you are offering. That's somebody who is worth investing in, right? Because they're doing the work, they're holding the vibration, and they're showing up. So I'm really glad that that hits home for you. So these are some business core principles that I live by, and I highly recommend writing these down and just feeling into what they mean for you. The first one is wealth is not a number. In my world, I don't look at wealth as a number. It's a frequency. There is the frequency of wealth and there's a frequency of lack. My ideal wealth frequency is between $10,000 to $20,000. Your wealth frequency might be between $7,000 and $12,000. We're going to fluctuate our desired wealth frequency, and that's the fun part about being in business is, okay, am I still vibrating at that wealth frequency, or could it go up higher? Do I feel like I want it to be more? And when we stop getting attached to a specific number and we start to tune into the frequency of $12,000 is a lot different than the frequency of $20,000. The frequency of a $3,000 month is a total different frequency than a $4,000 month. So when you learn how to play the energetics of money and you learn how to set income goals based off of frequency, I've personally found and seen my clients skyrocket, because the obsession over the number and the trying to feel worthy for it and all that stuff starts to clog your receiving field instead of just noticing and honoring what frequency you are ready to vibrate at. That's what dictates your wealth. This is also not your side hustle. This is your life. It's your birthright. Your business is your birthright. Not every single human on this planet wants to own, start, or operate a spiritual business. But this spiritual business landed in your heart for a reason. So it is your birthright to bring it out into the world and talk about it however much you fucking want to. Talk about it until you're blue in the face. Don't shut up about it. And if somebody judges you for that, that's a reflection of them and their relationship with their desires, not yours. And then the number one principle my business operates on is it's 90% about my energy and 10% about my strategy. The strategy means almost nothing to me. If my energy is at the wealth frequency and operating at the level that is of leadership, whatever strategy I implement is automatically going to work. But if I used to, it was 90% strategy, 10% energetics. I was so focused on putting the right post out and making sure the right email sequence was in place. And should I do a Facebook group? Do I need a Facebook group? I was getting lost in all these strategies that I wasn't energetically aligned with any of the money I was calling in, any of the clients I was calling in, anything like that. So this is a really important formula to feel into. I've also seen some light workers who are 100% energy and 0% strategy. So if you feel like you fall under that category, your job is to start to implement more structure and direction in your business. A little bit more masculine energy would actually serve you, because if you're all energy and no strategy, then you're probably flowing somewhere up in the quantum field and not actually putting work out into the world and completing what you are starting. That's what I see a lot, is that people are starting and they're not actually finishing. So you need a little bit of both. So here are the 4 key shifts that skyrocketed my growth. I tried to narrow them down, and I'm going to talk about each of them in a little bit more detail. So the first one, I hired coaches that felt like a total energetic fuck yes. Total energetic fuck yes. There's no doubt in my heart or my soul that this is where I needed to be with this person or this group. I also created frameworks that matched the frequency of wealth that I wanted to vibrate at, so that my business structure reflected a 5-figure month versus the structure of a 3-figure month or a 4-figure month. I embodied the mindset and belief systems of a leader. a leader, and I also created unshakable consistency. So now my business operates on this grounding divine force that is unshakable. It's unshakable. And I get to flow within that unshakable ground, and things get to move in the direction of my desire. I get to create. I get to take breaks. It gets to work for me. So let's first talk about hiring coaches that felt like a F yes. So I don't do this by myself. I didn't do this by myself. I have one coach. She is in my back pocket all the time. I adore her. I'm in 2 masterminds with groups of incredible women that inspire me, that expand me, and some even intimidate. I suggest being around women who are expanders, who are doing who are completing results that are a couple levels higher than what you want. That's going to inspire you to rise, versus surrounding yourself with people who are either, one, not getting the results you want, or just simply not at all on your level. Like, you have to surround yourself with expanders. I also have a healer and a spiritual mentor. So these people hold me in my highest, and I get to receive from them on a weekly basis. If I'm always giving and I'm not receiving, my business, my body, my energetic alignment is going to be out of whack. And I've only hired these people out of pure desire, not because I need them, because you have everything you need within you, but because I desire the accountability, I desire the support, and I desire to make that investment. It feels good to enter into that investment with these groups, with this coach, because it all comes back to me in avalanches every time, every single time. I also created frameworks that match the frequency of wealth. So the framework that you used to create your $1,000 or $2,000 month is completely different than the framework you're going to learn how to use to create your $7,000 to $10,000 month. There are different systems that need to be put into place that will support that level of income. So that could mean restructuring your offers. It could mean creating a new framework around your pricing. It could mean recalibrating the back end of your business so that it truly is set up to take in $10,000, $20,000, your $7,000. So making sure that there's frameworks put into place that let the universe know, and the consciousness of your clients know, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive that pay in full. I'm ready to receive 5 new clients. I'm ready to receive blank, blank, blank. So when you're doing this work, it's not just like you're forcefully putting a system into place. But as you put these systems and frameworks into place, your frequency rises, and what you are an energetic match for can find you faster. The energetic match that can find you faster. When we are operating in survival mode with our business, and we are creating things out of fear, or I need to sell out this program because I need to pay rent, or oh my gosh, I better offer some card readings because I need this and this and this paid, that is not a wealth frequency. And that is going to create this emotional codependency with your business that actually restricts it from growing. So the framework was huge for me. It created a lot of structure in my business, healthy, beautiful structure, so that I can start to bring in higher levels of income. Embodying the mindset and belief system of a leader. So what I found that I went from is operating in this masculine world of corporate America to feeling wounded as a feminine. And it caused me to shrink and hide. And the secret ingredient that I found is healing my feminine and masculine energy to create a template that reflects leadership as a light worker. So now, instead of my wounded feminine, despising my inner masculine, and my inner masculine wounding my feminine, they work together now. And the masculine knows that it's 10% strategy, and the feminine is 90% of the show. So when those two energies are working in union within your business, you feel so much better, and you're actually able to create so much more because you don't have this mixed energy within you. So I empower everybody to just start to journal around, what does a leader mean to me? Do I look at a leader as like Donald Trump or this like angry man who wants to dictate everybody? Or can I shift from that limiting perspective and look at myself as a leader? I am a leader of my life. I am the leader of my income. I am the leader of the containers my clients are stepping into. And I'm not going to be able to step into that leadership if I'm so busy trying to not be too much, or not be too demanding, not be too salesy, not be too direct. Those are all traits of the wounded feminine. We need the feminine to heal through the inner divine masculine. Those two parts of you have to start working together to create the template of leadership as a light worker. Because if you're not a leader of light, you're hiding from your birthright, your divinity. So I want everybody to be able to step into that. I like to call myself a chief light worker. So I feel like this high priestess, chief light worker. I am a leader. I am a CEO. I'm also a yoga teacher. I also love to lead women's circles. I still love giving card readings. But once I embodied the mindset and the belief system of a true leader, that's when people started to look at me as an authority. And guess what? People invest in power, right? Anytime you've bought something, it's because you trusted it and because it evoked emotion in you. So when you're looking at your business and the offers you're putting out there, the more that you can make this woman feel safe to exchange with you, the better your business is, and also the better that her life gets to be. It's really an even exchange on both ends. So leadership is huge, and that took a minute for me to understand because I was a rebel and didn't want to piss anybody off. And then last, which is so important, creating unshakable consistency. How many people struggle with inconsistency? I was so that girl who's like, 1 minute I'm posting every day, and then it's like, I don't want to be on Instagram taking a hiatus. And it's confusing, you know, the universe is always just responding to your vibration. So if your vibration is inconsistent, your income's going to be inconsistent, your business is going to be inconsistent, the people you attract are going to be inconsistent. I used to attract some funky energy, women who couldn't make their payments on time, women who would try to make 1 hour sessions, 2 hour sessions, women who were sucking my energy and not fully showing up in the container that I was creating. And that was because my energy was so all over the place. So it makes sense that I was attracting all these like random different energetic matches. So creating a container that holds your creative power up to this high standard is so important. You have to look at your creative power, your source energy that's high priority. And the more that you can create a consistency around that, the more you can attract people, income, and things into your business that are going to support it. Creating consistency for some women means simplifying things. So sometimes we have too much stuff going on that we're trying to keep up with it all, and there's no way to be consistent with that. And for other women, it means reestablishing the offers that you currently have so they're more exciting for you to show up for. I would fall in between the two. I had offers, but I wasn't really like excited about them. So why would I show up for them? Or they're priced so low that it was like, why would I promote something consistently that I don't even feel like it's priced high enough? You know what I mean? So we have to get into your psyche and just understand, where am I with my consistency? Why am I truly not showing up consistently? Ask your unconscious mind, because there is a program operating that you get to identify and reprogram so that you can create that container. Any questions so far on mistakes? Go ahead and type it in the chat. I'm going to keep moving and grooving so we can stay somewhat on time. I thought it'd be helpful to include my weekly schedule in here. I don't know why. I felt inspired to do that. I get that a lot. Like, what does your day look like? How do you structure your week? So my old weeks before, when I was making $2,000 and on the struggle bus, I was teaching from 6 a.m. to my last class sometimes would be at 5 o'clock. I would sneak clients in between my yoga classes. And then I would, on my client call days, I would keep my whole schedule open. So sometimes I would have a client at 9 a.m. and then I would keep my whole calendar open until like 7. And the client was running my business. The client was booking in whenever they wanted. And I was just all over the place because I felt like if I'm not available all the time for everybody, then I won't make money. That was my limiting belief. So my weekly schedule now is it just feels so good. On Mondays, I just receive. So I have a mastermind where I receive coaching on Mondays. And I also meet with my private coach, and it's just me receiving. I have a really slow start to the day. I allow myself to receive. I want to start my week off receiving so that I can give at my highest. And of course, in a perfect world, like, yes, this is the case for me. But if you like to start your Mondays off with a warm cup of tea or coffee and teaching a yoga class, then heck yeah. But let's look at how many hours you're working in the day and how spread thin you are, because that's where I would make a mistake, because I would start off my week just not in alignment, and that would trickle off into the rest of the days. And then Friday would come around and it was just like another cycle again and again. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are just client calls. So I start my day, you see here at the end, at 10 a.m. and I end it by 3. I've noticed that those are my juiciest hours. It's when the wheels are at their highest capacity. 9 a.m. sometimes, but I'm not a morning person. And I used to be so guilty because in corporate America, you have to get up early and go to work, and you're actually rewarded, the earliest person in the office. But when it comes to me channeling and coaching and holding space for people, I really don't hold great space at 7 a.m. I hold really awesome space by 10 a.m. And then Thursdays are content creation. And if I have a group program running, I'll do some group check-ins. But Thursdays are really just me in creation mode. I have music playing, I have sage burning, and I'm just creating content. I'm creating ideas. I'm creating whatever my heart wants to. And then Fridays, I'm typically off, but I also have a money date on Friday. And my money date is where I pay all my bills. It's where I look at all the money in my business. I pay myself. I pay myself twice a month, just like a normal, like 9-to-5 job. That was one thing that changed the game for me. I love on my money. I make money crystal grids. I do weird shit with my money. I pray over it. It's like just a time for me to infuse love and gratitude and really connect with my money in a beautiful way. It's a celebration. And then I do not work on the weekends. Sometimes if I have a retreat or an event, but I try to stick to Saturdays and Sundays are off. So hopefully this is helpful. You'll notice that each of my days are purposefully falling under one single category. And that's because if you're trying to record a podcast, give a card reading, teach a yoga class, and update your website all in one day, chances are you're not going to do all those things because that's too many directions for your brain in one day. So what I recommend is labeling each day, this is content creation day. So my brain doesn't have to keep the podcast tab open on Monday because it knows that by Thursday I will be recording or I will be doing whatever it is I need to do for that. Same thing with client calls. I've personally found that I can show up way stronger when I can just surrender for that whole day. I know I'm going to be in client mode. I'm not recording anything. I'm not creating content. I'm not trying to sneak in an Instagram post. I am there with my people here to coach for that day. And it's brought so much more peace into my world because it's just a little bit more organized. So I recommend giving each day a label, or splitting it up where like morning is clients and then your brain knows in the afternoon your content creation. So it can just chill out and not be trying to do 75,000 things at once. That's worked for me. Maybe it is for you too. Okay, let's get into some commonly asked questions, and then we'll open the floor for you guys' questions, and we'll see where we go. So the one question I always get is, do you take friends and people you know as clients? And the short answer to this is yes, if I feel like they're a rock star fit. So don't take anybody on that you're getting a gut feeling is not a fit. You get to hold the authority and the boundary that I'm not an energetic match for you right now, and refer them to another place, refer them somewhere else if that is the case for you. When it comes to friends, I highly recommend not adjusting your prices for them. Invite them to invest in themselves with the knowing that the circulation is going to go to a place that they're already connected with. And so inevitably it will be an avalanche for them to also receive. So I don't adjust pricing for friends and people that I know. I keep everything consistent because, again, consistency, consistent vibration. I also get the question, how much do you invest in learning, coaching versus what you're earning? This kind of varies for me based off of the quarter. So I usually invest more in the beginning of the year when it comes to coaching, or right around this time, because there's only 6 months left. So I'm actually reinvesting in a program that I was in the earlier part of the year. But here's how I look at investing. I'm never going to ask a woman to invest something that I haven't invested in. So I'm never going to ask somebody to invest $2,000 in my shit if I haven't invested $2,000 in something else, because I don't know how to relate to her then. That's actually really common. I see these coaches like putting these high ticket prices on their stuff, which is great, but they haven't invested that before. So it feels like out of integrity. So if you see any of my pricing, I've invested that before. So I truly know what I'm saying. It can be scary to invest. I truly know because I've done it too. So the most I've ever invested in a coach is $8,000. And the smallest or the lowest I'll ever invest is probably at this point like $2,000. And I did a post on this. You can look back on it on Instagram. I don't invest less than $2,000 because less than $2,000 doesn't like light me up. So I enjoy investing because every time I invest, I hit a hot spot in my energy field, and it infuses me to move forward and show up stronger. Whereas before, I used to be so afraid of investing. And if you're so afraid of investing, how can you ever expect anybody to invest in you or invest in themselves to work with you? So I actually enjoy challenging myself to keep increasing my investments. And I would say it's like 20-80 right now, where I invest like 20% of what I'm currently earning, but it really depends on the quarter and what's going on and what I feel like I want to invest in, whether it's a coach or a certification or whatever. How do you create your content? I get this a lot as well. And like I said in my calendar, I have a content day, and that's really helped me channel. When I stopped trying to control how my content was created, the content flowed easier. And when I stayed in my lane and let the information be channeled through me, I was able to create it so much more powerfully. The biggest piece of feedback I get is that your content is so enlivening. And I'm so grateful for that because it truly comes from like the depths of my soul. I'm not just posting because I feel like I have to or because the algorithm. Fuck that. Like, only create when you are at your highest, because that's what's going to activate the woman that needs your work. The other thing that I did, and I still to this day have my clients do this, is I unfollowed most coaches. I don't really follow a lot of people who are doing what I'm doing because it starts to mess with my energy. I'm starting to regurgitate other people's stuff. I'm trying to sound like, or just by nature, if you read something over and over again, of course you're going to start to talk about it or you start to sound like it. So it was really hard because I love to pull inspiration from other coaches and support them. But while you're in the growth period of your business, I really, really recommend unfollowing anybody that's doing what you're doing so that you can truly feel unique and own that uniqueness and not be constantly comparing yourself to her who talked about intuition, or, oh, somebody already posted a photograph like that, or that's not going to matter if I do it. Like, we're humans and we feed off of each other. So really tailor down who you are hanging out with online so that you can stay in your lane and start to create content that's unique to you. And then when you're feeling like at your highest and you're at the income level that you want, go ahead and follow whoever. But in the beginning, I would highly recommend unfollowing. Lovingly block and unfollow. Okay, any other questions before we keep moving? Love the schedule. Yes, it was so deeply helpful. Yes, I love the staying in your lane, unfollowing people in your same field to help you understand you. Yes, MB. That's what it is right there. It's learning to understand yourself, because we are constantly on Instagram reading stuff, right? So if we're constantly reading the same thing, we're going to start regurgitating it. And we start to separate from our unique message and what it is that we want to bring into the world. Beautiful. Any questions? Any other questions? Katie said, that's the best advice you gave me about how to price my art. I need to invest in art. Yeah, I did tell you that. Katie's a photographer who's selling her photography. It's freaking incredible. Incredible work. But I asked her, I was like, well, when's the last time you bought a photograph and how much did you pay for it? Because before you price your photographs, go buy a $500 photograph and see how that feels so that you can step into the power and also charge that. Denise asks, how do you recognize self-sabotage and what is truth/alignment? I recognize self-sabotage when I'm hiding. I know I'm sabotaging when I'm scrolling on Instagram instead of meditating, or I am staying inside all day obsessing about my business instead of walking outside. Even today, I started to sabotage. I stayed inside and my body kept saying, just go take a walk barefoot around your outside little courtyard area. And I was like, no, I want to get everything ready for the masterclass. I'm so excited for these 60 women. I'm going to like masculine focus. And I went to go pull some cards, and then what I pulled did go outside. So in that moment, I was sabotaging my energy. It's so subtle. And I then dropped everything. I went outside for like 5 minutes, and then I was able to connect with my truth and show up for you guys. But sabotage shows up when you're in an avoidance pattern. So anytime you're avoiding something, yeah, it's a snowball. It starts off really subtle, and all of a sudden you're like, it's 5 o'clock and I haven't done anything today for my business, or just like, forget it. I'm just going to like wait till tomorrow. So sabotage is something I love to teach on. There's an NLP technique called parts integration that actually integrates the part of you that wants to succeed and the part of you that is afraid. They become integrated and whole. And Denise, you are about to work with me, so we will take you through that process, and it's super powerful. She said, what's the balance between going full-time and keeping your other gig for security? Really freaking good question. So I look at it this way. You want to pay rent and make sure your fridge is full with beautiful, fresh food, and that is your divine birthright to have. So I do not recommend going full-time in your business if it's going to cause you more stress. Only go full-time if it's going to fuel you. If you're somebody who doesn't work well under that much pressure, then don't put yourself through it. And not everybody works well under pressure. I do. That's why I started my business with a whole bunch of debt and $400. That was like the fire I needed to go. But I know other clients that I've had where they have stayed part-time at their job while getting their business off the ground. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that at all. So you really have to just tune into what is your motivating factor. Do you like to go to the edge and then start, or would you rather have that security? And then I always say that your peace of mind is your highest asset. So keep your other job if it keeps your peace of mind. And know when you're playing it safe. You know if you're playing it safe or if you're keeping it for true security at the time. And then the last thing is set a deadline of when you will go full-time if you decide to keep your other gig, because we all operate really well on deadlines, and it'll give your unconscious mind direction of what it's working towards. If you don't set that deadline, you won't ever do it, or you'll delay it. So you just got to pick a date and then work towards that date and tell your unconscious mind, this is the date we're quitting. So let's do it. I make the same amount in my design business, $3,000. In my spiritual business, though, I don't promote it. I was going to actually talk to you about this, Denise. There's a way to infuse those two. I'm getting intuitively for you, and I'm not getting the hit that you need to drop one or the other right now. So I wouldn't, that's going to happen very soon, but I wouldn't stress about that. Crystal asked, how long until you saw changes in your business flow once you implemented these changes? If you want me to be 100% honest, I was still stuck at $3,000 to $5,000 even last November. I noticed a shift within 15 days. I started to play this game with the universe. I was like, you know what? I'm so fucking sick of being stuck at this income month. I'm going to see if I can manifest $10,000 in 15 days. I'm just going to play. And there's a specific method that I use. I manifested over $10,000. I think I made like 10,900 something. And ever since that day, like something in you shifts. It's literally an energetic shift. It's when you decide fully. But I've done the inner work. I've set up the structure. All of that was the support that was needed for me to shift into that new business flow. It can happen as fast as you decide. I would say where a lot of teachers aren't telling you the real deal is once you make that much money, how do you sustain it? That is, to me, more important. So I knew how to get there. Now, how do I sustain it? That's what was the biggest game changer for me, was like keeping it consistent. But I would say 15 days to a couple of months. You'll see it right away, because it's your energy. Zoe said, I would love to get better at identifying it. Yeah, we will. Zoe's working with me too. I'm excited. Caitlin said, what has been the best way that you've connected with clients? I hear different things all over the place. I feel like I need to be represented across multiple platforms, but I'm not sure if it's useful. So I think what you're asking, Caitlin, is what social media platform should you use? Is that your question? I totally feel you on this, because when I first started coaching, was told I need a Facebook group and I need to be posting on Facebook and Instagram, and I should have like a sales funnel. Like, mind blown. I was just so paralyzed by like all those things that I just tuned in. I was like, what is easiest for me to show up on, and what is most exciting for me to share my creative energy? And that's Instagram. I actually can't stand Facebook. I don't want to manage a Facebook group. I know other girls who have a Facebook group that's killing it and they love it, and they couldn't even care less about Instagram. So my personal opinion is you don't need all of the things to be represented like at your highest. I would recommend choosing the one that's already natural for you and mastering that first. And then you can repurpose that content on the Facebook or whatever the heck else. Also, ladies, video is queen. Show your face and speak your voice on whatever platform you do decide. So what I like now with these social media platforms is there's multiple rooms within the one. So on Instagram, there's stories, direct message, Instagram TV now. You can do posts. So you want to master all the different rooms and whatever network you choose. That's what I would recommend and what I have found most success in. And then I also, for networking, I love, one thing I've been getting into is podcasting and just interviewing other people or connecting with other people who want to interview me. That's one way to network. And the other thing that I have found is incredibly helpful is this is a social media platform. So the more social I am on social media, the more people are going to be social with me. And I think a lot of us have gotten so stuck at like, I need to put out content, I need to create. we're not actually engaging with people. And I like to think of it as I want to be the client that I want to attract, or I want to be the follower that I want to attract. So if I'm just putting out content and I'm not engaging, that means I'm probably going to attract people who just follow me and don't engage with my shit. So I like to challenge myself all the time to comment a really meaningful comment. Read the posts that you decide to follow. Engage with people's stories, because that's going to boomerang back to you, and you're going to start to network and attract people who are also willing to show up on your feed and show up in your comments. It's the same thing as like, what are you an energetic match for clients? If you're the type of client that shows up late, doesn't want to invest any money, is all scared and shit, you're going to attract the same type of clients. So when I started to invest and clean up my energy, I noticed the women that were coming to me were so much more elevated. So just pick one thing and master it. Any other questions, y'all? These are so good. Make sure I didn't miss any. Okay. Key takeaways, and if you have more questions, feel free to pop in. I like to do like a summary of the key takeaways so that your unconscious mind can just really digest. I just delivered a ton of information, so I just want to kind of bottle it up for you so you can just take it with you and let it sink in. 1, your energy is queen. If you are not an energetic match for your desires, you will sabotage and delay them. End that cycle today. If you're offering Reiki, spiritual solutions, coaching, mentorship, your energy comes first. You have to get into energetic alignment with the frequency of wealth and what structure that means for you and your business. And alongside energy, you have a king, and his name is strategy. So if you're in business, you're in sales. We have to get over selling ourselves. That's not what you're doing here. You're just talking about what lights you up in your whole body, and that's creating an energy field. And then certain clients and people are attracted to that energy field. So I really encourage each of you to heal your relationship with what selling means so you can put yourself out there more confidently. We need to hear you and see you. Consistently do the inner work. So I don't want you to just have one good month or one big launch. You deserve to feel abundant all throughout the month, at the start, at the end. So I invite you to show up and do the inner work. Leave the doubt and the dust and move through your fear. I told Chelsea, we worked together for a little bit. I was like, draw your fear a bath, put some crystals in it, and heal her so she can rise up to the occasion and consistently do what she came here to do. And the last thing, please stop Googling and consuming and start asking for help. If you're constantly looking to Google and other people as your source of answers, you're going to keep spinning in circles. So get real help. Hire help that feels like a fuck yes. Start to trust yourself more, that you do know how to do this, that these spiritual gifts and this business idea or whatever it is that you're wanting to put out in the world is not a mistake. You are fully qualified. You have everything you need to move forward. So ask for the help to support you to get there faster. So I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to do it, but I want you to get there faster. I think that's my last takeaway. So do you guys have any questions about the takeaways? Anything else? So helpful and such an affirmation that you've been feeling, yeah, it's right for me. Good. I'm glad, Caitlin. Beautiful. So you guys are all invited to the Spiritual Biz Accelerator. It is my deepest joy right now to share this with you guys because I truly believe it's what the spiritual community is missing. We need accountability. We need support. We need somebody who's speaking our language. We need somebody who understands energetics and also gets business strategy. So I feel that is my superpower. It's what people come to me most often for. And it's something that you guys probably didn't even know I offer. It's been a secret little launch of mine. I've been doing this all year, and finally I have created an elixir that is ready to be birthed into the world. And I'm super excited to invite you guys into this spaceship. So this is for the yoga teacher who is burned out teaching classes and has a bigger vision. It's for the spiritual mentor who's lit up by her mission, but she's unsure how to monetize. It's for the coach who's yearning for a mentor that talks about spirituality and strategy. You've been in group programs before, you've probably invested before, and you might have gotten burned. I feel you. You're also a little bit scattered, you're all over the place, and there's no real direction. You're posting on social media, but you're hearing crickets, and it's like, is it Mercury retrograde? Is the algorithm messed up? What is going on? I just want to be heard. And you're feeling like your limiting beliefs are flaring up because you haven't gotten the results that you want. If this sounds like you, the Spiritual Biz Accelerator is exactly what I feel will help you fill the gap between where you are right now and where it is that you truly want to be. So it includes 3 months long. It includes 2 private business intensives where we meet one-on-one. It also includes 1 2.5-hour call each week, which will be recorded. In that group call, you get a guaranteed one-on-one hot seat. I've been in programs before where that's not the case, and I'm so excited to take everything I've learned from programs that didn't feel good and truly make this all that it can be for you. There's, of course, going to be a Facebook group, of course, Q&A, of course, accountability, action steps, homework. Some of you are on this call have worked with me before. I love giving you action steps because that's what you need to start doing what you know you need to do, and you need to be accountable for it. So that's really the basis of this experience. I truly believe, and the reason why I created this is that you freaking deserve to have the life, the income, and the business that you desire. So I'm asking you to step into your wild liberation for your vision as a spiritual businesswoman. You are not just a yoga teacher. You're not just a Reiki healer. You are a spiritual businesswoman who came here to lead the way for the humans that are ready to transform their life. What you have inside of you is so deeply important, and the world needs it. So there's 6 women who are going to be joining me. There's already 4 spots taken, which was freaking crazy. I was like, the masterclass is here. I only have 2 spots left. So if you're ready to take one of the 2 spots, the investment is $9.97 a month. So 3 months, $9.97. Or you can save some dollars and do pay in full, which is $27.40. The next steps, if you have been feeling like, oh my God, I freaking need this, is to send me an email ASAP after this, and I'll send you an application, and that will get us going so we can see if it's a good fit for you. When it comes to the investment, of course, it's scary. I want it to feel like a juicy stretch, and I also want you to know that by investing in yourself, you are encouraging others to do the same, and you're entering into an accountable container that will get you real results. So let me know if you are one of the people that needs to take the last 2 spots. And I think I see the chat box is going. This is the first time I'm feeling alive since I moved. Thank you for doing what you do, Tori, empowering us to follow our birthright. I can't read, but I love you, Katie. Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for seeing me. I see you too. Yes. Beautiful. Yeah, this is important. We need you guys. We need you in your leadership. Yes, you're so welcome. This is the most vulnerable thing I've ever shared, and it fills my heart that you guys are resonating. So thank you so much for showing up. Can you guys see this red line? My beautiful presentation feels like a 2-year-old drew over it. My perfectionist is like, ah. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you have other questions, you can email me, info@toriwashington.com. I anticipate the last 2 spots are going to be filling up by the end of the week. So if you want support, if you're ready to do the 7K, the 8K, the 10K, let it be easy. Let me help you. You will be joined by 4 other incredible women who are also doing the same. And you'll get some private mentorship so you can get there faster. So all you'll have to do is send an email to me. It's right here on the little graphic, and we'll get going from there. I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. It's only Monday, so there's a huge week ahead. Takeaways, just write them down, start to tune in, get your stuff organized, let your unconscious mind receive, and then begin to put some of this stuff into action in your business. Mwah, I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.